God of light and love, you desire that all your people should live in peace. Grant us the humility to seek your forgiveness and the will to practice it in our dealings with others. Help us in the days to come to seek the good of the world, to work for the increase of peace and justice, to show tolerance and open-mindedness towards those whose character and customs are different from ours. Let us remember the kindness of God and his favour to us in our time of need. Let us remember the courage and devotion to duty, the self-sacrifice of the men and women of our armed forces, the toil and endurance of those who are not in uniform, the support of those who sent from afar or came and stood by our side. Let us remember those who were wounded in the fight, those who fell in battle and are buried at sea or in some corner of some foreign field, and especially those who we have known and loved, whose place is forever in our hearts. Let us remember those who were our enemies, whose homes and hearts are as bereft as ours, whose dead lie also in the living tomb of everlasting remembrance. Let us remember those who came back, whose lives still bear the scars of war, who lost sight or limb or reason, those who have lost faith and hope for humanity. And let us remember the continuing grace of God who holds all souls in life, and to whom none are dead, but all are alive forever. Grant that our remembrance this day may be consecrated for the practical service and the world made better for our children's children. Receive our prayers for the well-being of all people, especially those who mourn and are sad. Hear us for the peace of the world, for the wise resolution of conflicts, the release of the captive, and for all oppressed people everywhere. These prayers we pray in the name of God, who creates, sustains, and redeems us. Amen.
Yang amat berhormat Tuan Lim Guan Eng, Ketua Menteri Pulau Pinang, Tuan yang terutama Duta-Duta Negara Britain, Republik Singapura, dan Pulau Fiji, Pegawai-pegawai Angkatan Tentera Malaysia dan Polis Diraja Malaysia, Pegawai-pegawai Angkatan Tentera Commonwealth dan penasihat-penasihat pertahanan duta-duta negara Commonwealth, Div dan para jemputan, selamat pagi dan selamat datang ke upacara Hari Peringatan Pahlawan yang ke-11 yang dianjurkan oleh Persatuan Veteran Keselamatan Pulau Pinang. Tuan-tuan dan puan-puan sekalian, izinkan saya berucap dalam bahasa Inggris. I, on behalf of the Penang Veterans Association, appreciate your presence and participation in this 11th Annual Remembrance Day ceremony organized by the Penang Veterans Association. This morning, I do not intend to make any oratorical speech, but to impress upon you that this ceremony is a solemn ceremony to focus on our common feeling of gratitude, to respect, honor, and most of all, remember the veterans, the fallen heroes who defended our country's sovereignty and freedom, lest we forget. World War I and World War II, the Malian Emergency, and other conflicts were challenges to our freedom. Our armed forces and police force at that time was young, but they displayed great sense of patriotism and courage to defend our country. In those hours of need, our allies and our friends from the Commonwealth, namely Great Britain, Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, Fiji Islands, Nepal, and the Federation of Rhodesia and Nyasaland came to our aid. All the gallant men and women who served in these conflicts demonstrated courage and bravery in the face of adversity, and some of them paid the ultimate price to ensure freedom. Freedom for us, for our children, and future generations. They left us something great which we must always value: freedom. We value freedom as an essential mental and emotional requirement for living. Let us sing the song of freedom. Let's get together, hold hands, and sing a song of freedom, lest we forget. Let us salute, honor, and remember all those who fought to defend our freedom. Let us remember the families of those who lost loved ones and spare thought for those who are serving now. World War I started in 1914 and ended in 1918. This monument you see in front of you, the Santov Esplanade, or Tugu Pada Kota Lama in Malay, was built in 1922 as a monument to remember all those who lost their lives in that war. The heroes of World War I who did not make it home to see their loved ones. However, today, this monument, the Santov Esplanade, acts as a landmark reminder to all armed conflicts. For those of you who are unaware, there's another monument built after World War II in Ayalika, Penang, lest we forget. Veterans who served in World War I are slowly but surely fading away. Today we are fortunate that a World War I veteran, Mr. Bob Simmons, who participated in the liberation of Malaya in 1945, is with us today. He and his wife have made a long journey from France, where they live now, to be present here this morning, lest we forget. Finally, the organization and success of this solemn ceremony is only possible solely due to your presence, help in cash and in kind, and your moral support. Each and every one of you here should be proud of this. Remember, Remembrance Day 2013, and see you next year. Thank you. Viva our veterans.
Thank you very much, sir. We now call upon the British High Commissioner, His Excellency Mr. Simon Featherstone, to give his address.
Right Honourable Chief Minister, President of the Penang Veterans Association, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great privilege to take part in today's very special Remembrance Day ceremony in this beautiful setting, one of several which have taken place during the last 8 days around Malaysia. And our warm thanks today go to the Veterans Association for organising this event for the 11th time, and indeed to the Chief Minister for agreeing to be today's guest of honour. Today we remember not only those servicemen who died during the First World War, in whose honour this cenotaph was built 90 years ago, but also those men and women who died in subsequent conflicts, notably from this region during World War II, the emergency and the confrontation. Our thoughts today are with those present who are mourning the loss of loved ones. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Since I've been here in Malaysia for 2 years, I've been very impressed that the passing of time since the 2 world wars has not dimmed the desire of people here, Malaysians and expatriates alike, to remember and pay their respects to the fallen. Indeed, I was counting up yesterday, and I think this is my 16th remembrance event in those 2 years, and I know my deputy has represented me at least 6 other events during that time. So Malaysia is a country which does honour and respect and remember the fallen. And it's right that we do remember those who paid the ultimate price, the courage that was displayed, the fortitude under unspeakable conditions, the hardships they endured, are indeed an inspiration to us who so easily complain while living in so much easier times. They are also a reminder of the horrors of war, not just for the servicemen and women, but on countless civilians who are also affected. And they are a spur to politicians, to diplomats, and to all men and women of goodwill that we must work all the harder for peace in our time. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called sons of God. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Your Excellency. We now call upon Yang Amat Berhormat, the Chief Minister, Tuan Lim Guan Eng, to deliver his address.
His Excellency, Mr. Simon Featherstone, the High Commissioner, Britain, Major Shirasan, the Chairman of the Penang Veterans Association, all the distinguished dignitaries present here today, all the distinguished members of the armed forces from various countries. Very good morning to everyone. First, I wish to thank the Penang Veterans Association for inviting me here to be present again on this holy Sunday morning, together with everyone to mark the solemn Remembrance Day ceremony for 2012, to honor our fallen heroes. The attendance of High Commissioners, ambassadors, dignitaries, and representatives from the various armed forces displays the strong common purpose of honoring those who have dedicated their lives, remember their ultimate sacrifice in past conflicts. Nothing I say here today will measure up to the ultimate sacrifice that they have given. They have given up their lives so that we can live. So with great humility, I accord my respect to the servicemen who have courageously fought to defend our freedom. And to remind us that peace is always preferable to war, love always preferable to hate, and trade always preferable to terrorism, whether it's state-sponsored or by individuals. If there are to be wars, let us fight wars against poverty, let us fight wars against corruption, let us fight wars against ignorance, and let us fight wars against racism. We hope that the tears of our mothers, our sisters, and our wives that were shed for these fallen veterans will not be repeated in this generation or the next, but will be replaced by laughter and joy. Once again, let me thank the Penang veterans who have my government's support for this event. And we may not know who have fallen in these past conflicts, or whatever the race of those who have fallen. This solemn occasion this morning reminds us all that we belong to one race, and that is the human race. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Yang Amat Berhormat Chief Minister Tuan Lim Guan Eng. I call upon Mr. Kenneth Sinclair Sterling to read the oath.
They shall not grow old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them, lest we forget.
Lest we forget. Thank you. Yang Amat Berhormat, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I now invite you all to rise, and we will play the last pose and lower the flags. Those in uniform, you are invited to salute too. Thank you. Please remain standing, and may I call upon all of you to join me to observe 1 minute silence for our glorious dead. Thank you very much. The Rouse. Thank you very much. Be seated. Ahmad Barahmat, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we will now proceed with the wreath laying ceremony. I will call out the names in order for individuals as well as some of you who will be in groups. And finally, for those who have brought wreaths here but have not been called out, you will be invited to lay the wreaths towards the end of the wreath laying ceremony. The first, Yang Amat Berhormat Tuan Lim Guan Eng, Chief Minister of Penang, on behalf of the people of Penang. Sir. His Excellency Mr. Simon Featherstone for the British High Commission. His Excellency Mr. Nelly Baini Marama for the High Commission of the Republic of Fiji Islands. Captain Jeffrey Urin for the Australian High Commission, Ms. Philomena Au for the High Commission of the Republic of Singapore, Squadron Leader Leon Fox for the New Zealand High Commission, His Excellency Mr. Woradet Birikin, the Consul General for the Consulate of Thailand in Penang, and in the first group, Captain Dr. Professor Dr. Muhammad Raza bin Haji Abdul Rashid, Commanding Officer of KD Street Penang, on behalf of Tentera Laut Diraja Malaysia, Senior Assistant Commissioner Mazlan bin Kesa, Ketua Bahagian Siasatan Pulau Pinang representing the Ketua Polis Negeri CTO on behalf of the Police Diraja Malaysia, and Major Zaihan bin Abdullah Halim on behalf of Tentera Laut Malaysia. The second group, Air Vice Marshal Warren Ludwig, AM, Commander Integrated Air Defence System Butterworth on behalf of the Royal Australian Air Force, Lieutenant Colonel Andrew Treble, Commanding Officer, 2nd 30th Training Group, Australian Army on behalf of the Australian Army, and Captain Ken Taylor, DA, British High Commission. Captain Maritime Christopher Ravindra Das and Colonel Dr. Alexander Das in memory of their late father, Warrant Officer William David Das. Mr. Jeffrey Cooper, Group Manager for United International Enterprises Malaysia Sdn Bhd. Mr. Bob Simmons, World War II veteran, in memory of all members of the Liberation of Malaya Group in 1945 under Operation Zipper. Dato' Mary Ritchie on behalf of Persatuan Bekas Pasukan Keselamatan Negara Malaysia, Dr. Marina David on behalf of the Young Women's Christian Association Penang, Mr. Leslie James for the Malayan Volunteer Group. Mr. Ganesan Samaya on behalf of Persatuan Bekas Angkatan Tentera India Malaysia Perim, Captain Zaitun binti Hamid for Persatuan Keselamatan Malaysia, Major Sivarajan Ramanathan retired on behalf of the Penang Veterans Association. If there are any others present who have brought wreaths and would you like to lay them now, you can do so. Pengawal Tugu bersurai. applause, ladies and gentlemen, for the 2nd Battalion Volunteer Regiment and the Navy. Yaman Bororman, I am quite aware that you are in a rush for another ceremony now, and I think we have achieved a great event today in excellent, perfect time. Thank you very much, everybody. It was an excellent event. I would like to invite everyone for tea reception at the tea reception area on my right. Thank you very much. Lest we forget. I'd like to invite everyone for tea reception at the tea reception area on my right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, one more. Oh, okay. Well, you had a running start there. That's good.